Season 2 is here. It is here, and we are ready. We are ready for the conversation. We're going to kick off the conversation this season with fatherhood, and we're going to actually talk to a new father. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Come and listen, laugh, and link up on real life topics and subjects that matter to you here on the conversation with Corinthus Alston. Well, we are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. So now we're going to just jump into this conversation. Now, I asked a good friend of mine. He's a young man. He just had a child. So he's a first-time dad. And I wanted to know some of the things that he is experiencing in regarding to fatherhood. So we're gonna get deep. We're gonna get deep. I'm gonna hit him with some tough questions. But I want you to welcome my friend. I think of him like a little brother. All right. Chris, let's come on. Let's start this. We're gonna give you a hand clap. We're gonna give you a hand clap. Bring you in that way. We're gonna bring you in that way. What's going on?
No, it's really I'm really glad to be here. It's really grateful for the relationship, man. And so yeah, I'm excited about this conversation on the conversation.
Thank
So
you,
yeah.
thank you, thank you very much. So we gonna jump into it now. I want to jump into this. So this is gonna be like a 3-part series that I'm doing, but I want to take a perspective from a brand new father, right, and like yourself, and just hit you with some real questions. Okay, the first question is: when you first found out that you're going to be a dad, I know you probably talked about it, but when you found out the news, what happened?
Wow, I think it brought to me a bunch of emotion. I was kind of like, it was like a little bit of anxiousness, but I think I felt like I was calm in the moment. And to be honest, I was the one who actually, told my wife. I was like, I think you might be pregnant. I was seeing, I was, I was seeing, seeing and hearing some things that were, that were atypical of her behavior. One thing, my wife does not like chocolate at all. Like she really does not eat chocolate. She don't like chocolate. And we were out on the road, and she, we were on the road for her. She was doing a speaking tour, and we were, out of town. And she was like, I want some chocolate, because she smelled something that I was eating. I had a chocolate chip cookie or something, and she was like, that smells good. And I was like, wait, what? We've been married, we've been married 8, almost 9 years. She's never ever said that, something chocolate smelled good. And then it was that plus some other stuff. And once I was like, okay, we're gonna do this job, and then we're gonna go back home, and then we'll take the pregnancy test. And once it was confirmed, it was just kind of like, I think we both kind of sat back and was like, oh my God, we are about to be parents.
See, yeah. So okay. So here it is. You
Yeah.
find out. Okay, it takes a minute to digest, right? We get that. We get that. So it's like month number 6. Okay, reality kicked in. Okay, you're gonna be a dad. Reality kicked in. She's showing all this stuff. Does the anxiety level turn up a little bit?
Yeah, I think the closer we got to the actual due date, by that time we had a different kind of routine. Um, but it was, the nighttime was really hectic. Just difficult to sleep. And if wife ain't getting no sleep, then really nobody's getting any sleep. So but our level was kind of like, we were really just trying to take every class we could. We had
Mm-hmm.
our,
Mm-hmm.
we had our doctor. And I mean, we had the hospital, but the doctor situation was a little different. um
Mm.
so the we were definitely going to our appointments. At that time, I think, let me see, 6 months. I can't remember exactly where that was, but mind you, we had our child during the pandemic. So things shifted from us being able to freely go to our appointments to it got to a point where I think about 6 months, our doctor was saying like, "Hey, you
Oh
may not
wow,
even
that's right. I
come in."
totally forgot that. So that was a
Yeah,
whole new level of just being able just to get there.
yeah. The first few months it was like I think it was like if I compare it to other couples, it was like the regular, normal level of high anxiety, so to speak. For new parents, like we were taking classes and we were trying to do all the things, eat right, and I was, carrying bags, and we had gotten just started to get the house prepared and all of that stuff. But when the pandemic hit, it put a really, really big, it amped unknown factor,
Wow.
right?
Wow. You know what? I totally forgot about that. I really did. I totally forgot. Okay, so we got there. The baby's here. The
Yeah.
baby's here. Now, come on now, be honest. It's one thing knowing that the baby's gonna get here, is the one thing leading up, but that baby's here and that baby is in your arms. What happened? What happened?
Um, you know what? I can go back to the time, that like the exact moment when she was delivered, and then the doctors cleaned her up. They actually gave her to me first, um, and I'm just holding her, and I'm looking at her like, oh my god, this whole human being who has my face. And I think it was like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, it's like, what am I supposed to do? And I think, and immediately it's kind of like, all right, like what to do. You have to just take care of her. And it's just that wave of emotion that comes, that came, over me. And I'm just looking at her, looking at mom, and it's just like all of the feelings, all of the things kind of rush over. And in that moment, I'm just thinking like, you are here with us, like you're not like my niece and nephew where I can just take you back home. Like you're coming home with us, and it's like both excitement, and it's like, oh crap, you're coming home with us.
So tell me about the level of responsibility, because I tell everyone it that level of responsibility starts to kick in on you. That now you
Oh
are
yeah.
responsible for this little precious baby. You are responsible. You're responsible for for teaching the baby good, bad. Helping the baby walk. I mean, all these little things. You don't really think about it
Hmm.
until the baby gets here in your hand, and then that responsibility. I mean, how did you take that? I mean, I know like the first week or so, you're going back and forth, but when did it really kick in that you are responsible for this child?
I can honestly say, because I've had a lot of just experience, like hands-on experience with like actual babies, that gave me a level of comfort in knowing that I could, like, physically do the things that it was necessary to take care of her. But what really, really was a huge impact and game changer is um when when Ashley was pregnant with and our baby's name is Christelle. That's when like it hit me that, oh, we have to secure, or I have to secure a legacy beyond myself. And so honestly, it started before she got here.
Hmm.
The level of responsibility. There were things that that I would procrastinate on when it was just me and Ashley, that I was like, oh, I got to do this like now, because I think I'm realistic when it comes to, I know that time is not going to be our own anymore.
Yeah.
So I got to do some things before she gets here, or at least start on some things before she gets here, so that when she's here, that I'm not all over the place. And so I think that level of
Okay.
responsibility really, really, really started. Um, it actually started once, because we decided
All right.
to try to have, like, we
So
didn't.
so
It
this was
wasn't
something
something that kind
planned. This
of
wasn't
happened.
like a oops. It
No, it
wasn't a oops.
wasn't. Like no, we planned for it, and because we planned for it, we made sure that we were in the right mindset because, like I said, we're celebrating 9 years this upcoming March. So Christelle was born, she was just born this year. Like it wasn't by coincidence, it was by the grace of God after we decided we were gonna, try to have a baby that, we were blessed to have her. But, so we started thinking about her before she got here.
Okay, okay. So here's the thing, like most people, like I said again, you're a new dad, and see, you said you planned, you thought about it, um, um, and as those years go by, that's like here's the thing, right? So again, I'm doing it all over again. I got the little guy who's 4. You know what the
Yeah.
crazy thing is that you don't think about? Like back then, I never thought about this. My daughter's 30, oldest daughter. You don't think about preschool. You know how
Uh,
stressful that is?
I don't know that specifically, no, but
So see, you don't know. So wait till you start just thinking about just preschool. I mean, but you said you're planning, and I know one of the things you probably start thinking, you and Ashley probably like, wow, um, we want our child to go to school. We got
hmm
to pay for that.
yep.
I mean, that's a reality that some new fathers don't. Parents just don't think about. Oh, we want our child to have a good education, and what does that mean from a financial responsibility perspective? Are those some of the things have you thought about that and about rounding, traveling? I mean, what are some of the things that you thought about that you want to be able to provide for your child as your child is growing up?
That is a amazing question, and it's one that I think just comes with the territory of being not only a father but being a parent, um, being a parent in general. Um, so the things that we thought about was the schooling. So we about 3 years ago we moved. Ashley and I moved from city of Chicago, from a condo to a house out in the south suburbs that we both are familiar with. Down the street from the high school that we graduated from, so we know that we live in a school district that has excellent excellent um, schools. The system is good. We've both been through it, and so we know that system really well. And we have still have some connections out here. So we are fairly like that's something we thought about. So if public school is going to be the way, then we made sure that we move to a district where we trust and we know. However, we also thought about public school. The whole the what do you call it? We thought about homeschooling. We thought about the different costs of all of that stuff, and we thought about putting together paying a mortgage or a small fortune for school and getting her in the best schools. Um, all of those different thoughts have come into our mind. Traveling was one that is a non-negotiable for sure. Like school is just as important. Ashley and I travel every year out of the country at least once. And so we have no doubts that Christelle is gonna be a part of that. We were planning on taking her out, even in her first year, taking her out of the country. Of course, due to COVID-19, that put a stop in our plans. But yeah, traveling is definitely something that we want to do. She'll have her passport as soon as we're able to get it. We've already applied for the documentation and everything, but we can't go anywhere right now. Another thing is it's some of the things that we think about. It's like in our mind, but we really don't we just don't. It's not something that we kind of like to sit with. It's like clothes. Like we get clothes when we need clothes, right? We don't really we don't really even like think of speak. We know that if she's growing out of some stuff, we got to get her clothes 2-3 sizes above what she is. So those types of things, we put them on. I think we talked about this before. Diapers and all that stuff is just on Amazon.
Oh
We
my
order.
goodness.
We get
Oh my
those
goodness. Man, you just
diapers, the
don't
wipes,
know.
all that
You
stuff.
man,
I
here's
got
the
to order
thing that
coming in
got me
today.
about clothes, right? Here's the thing that got me at clothes. My son is 3 years old, and just to get him like some shoes, because here's the thing I found out: you want to have some good shoes, right? Not like you're not trying to go Gucci, you just trying to get some Nikes. Don't you know they $50?
Yes, they're adult prices.
$50 just for he's 3, he's 4, just for him to be able to wear it 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months. And so it just it see, and I tell people there's this whole perspective that you like didn't know. You used to know. So tell me one of the things. Let me know one of the things that you just didn't know. You just okay. We have what one thing took you by surprise, um, um by being a dad.
That's a really good question. One thing that has taken me by surprise is is that no, it's like I think it's the feeding. My baby is so active that sometimes she just won't eat until she is like extremely sleepy, and it's just like her personality. I guess I don't know, feeding personality, like all this stuff wraps up into one, but it's really just the fact that she is her own person. I'm thinking, and like I said, I had experience with babies before, but it's so brand new when it's different when it's your own. She does things when she wants to do them, and it's just surprising that I can't get her to eat if she doesn't want to eat. If I want to, put her to bed, she's jumping up. So I think what's really surprising is just she is her own person and she does things on her own time. And there's nothing that I could do to really change that. Um,
Man, welcome to the club. Wait till she start growing up. Wait till she
it's
start talking, especially when she's like when she start to understand stuff. Like 2 and 3, when she like understands like yes, no, or when she asks you something that if I cry, Dad gonna give me this, you know, you know, or if I just come up, here's the best one. She gonna come up and hug you, Dad. Can I have a piece of candy? Can I have some cookies? And you gonna like, wait a minute, you gonna give me a hug first, then ask me for the, you know. So if you had to give a new dad some advice, what would that be?
I would say it would be to just be prepared, just to be prepared mentally for a bunch of new things happening. And you have to have, I think you have to have some like a foundation of support systems and things you can do to kind of wind down like in place, because it's stressful having a kid and what that entails and long nights and stuff like that. And so you have to have a support system. You have to have somebody you can call on, just to vent, the vent, somebody to call on to help you out, somebody to call on that's always going to be energized and excited about the baby. Just because sometimes you get to a place where you don't recall and you don't really you forget about the blessing that your child is or your children are. And so you just need sometimes something to remind you, like you need something to ground you or somebody to ground you. And you have to be conscious about those things. You have to be aware and you have to have those things on the forefront of your mind. Like never forget, like this is my child. This is the person I brought into the world. This child does not have um any bad intentions, right? So they're not doing things just to get on our nerves. They're not doing things to spite us at this level. But I would say like make sure you have a strong foundation, and whoever your the parent, the other parent that you're co-parenting with, if it's your spouse, girlfriend, whoever, that you've decided to bring this child into the world, uh, with whom you decided to bring this child into the world, make sure you're on like you have to be on great terms, like it at the point that the
Maybe
baby
you
comes in.
stealing my question. You got to stop
Sorry.
stealing my next question because I was going to hit you with that. That was my next. That was my next question, man. So
Okay, go
so
go
so
ahead.
here
Cut me
so
off.
here's to go. Here's okay. I call this the power question.
Okay.
Do you think, in order for you to be the best father that you are, that that other parent need to support you in your fatherhood?
Absolutely. Unequivocally, 100%. The other parent, they have to be on, they have to be your cheerleader. You have to be their cheerleader. And if that has to happen for a lot of different reasons. Like I said, you always need that support system, but it works so much better when you all can just be each other's backup. And I say backup to say that there's some times where, like, when Christelle was first born, her first 3 months, um, we were just kind of doing things haphazardly, right? It was you get the baby, I get the baby, but eventually we were like, okay, this ain't gonna work. So we had to come up with a system, and the system was I, took on the night shift. So I would, be overnight. I would get the baby around like 10, and I was from 10 to like 6 a.m. And actually was the other portion of the day. So, but there are some nights if Christelle was she would wake up or she was restless and Ashley would hear this and I had the monitor with me, but sometimes she would come in and she would look at my face and she was like, okay, let's switch, like tap out, and vice versa. There's sometimes where you need that person. If you're not on good terms, or if that other person, like if y'all are bickering and fighting or whatever, you don't have that outlet. You just don't have that. And that's just something that's on a base level. But all the decisions about feeding, what she's gonna eat, is she gonna do formula? Is she gonna do breast milk? Like all of that stuff, we make those decisions together because we decided what would be best for our child. And the parents just have to be on one accord. And if they're not on one accord, they got to figure out a way to get on one accord because this child is looking and they're learning their temperament from how you all treat each other.
Wow, man. See that's I'm telling you, man. I'm excited for both of you guys because I see you guys taking pictures and everything. It's like you guys are having the time of your life with that little one. Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do a check-in on you. I'm gonna have
Okay.
to do a check-in on you maybe about a year and a half, because then she's gonna be walking, trying to grab stuff, maybe even saying a word or two. And I gotta find out, is it mom or dad the first word?
You
Gotta
know what?
find out.
Yeah, you got to find out. He's
I
saying
gotta find out. But yeah, man,
he's
thank you,
significant.
man. Thank you, man, for taking the time out. Tell Ashley hello. Tell her to kiss the baby, hug the baby, play with the baby. Just do your thing. And most importantly, spend time with her because it is very important. Time is one thing you don't get back. You
Yeah.
just don't get it back. But we're gonna have you back. I want to thank you for taking out the time. Everyone, again, we gonna continue this conversation because in next week we're gonna talk about we're gonna do that starting all over again. All right. So again, Chris, thank you very much. I want everyone to know, come on back. We're gonna bring him back because he got some more stuff that he got some more stuff that we need to talk about as well that you need to know about. Again, with that said, continue. Like I said, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding. Thank you for being part of the conversation with Corinthus Alston, brought to you by CKJ Live. Come back and visit again to share more real life topics and stories that matter to you. And remember, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding.